we are.
Here we are. Nova Força.
How you doing, my buddy?
I'm good, man. And you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Can't complain. Been enjoying the weather.
Yeah, it's been good, isn't it?
Been a lovely, lovely hot day.
Yeah, so it's amazing. It's amazing. That's a good thing out of it.
You caught me by surprise. I'm not quite fully prepared. I usually this time of the evening, I just put some jewelry on. These are, as Neal would say, my default bronzes.
Oh, that's good.
Never won a bout, but I've got 2 medals to show for it.
That's it. And the roots Nova Força top as well, isn't it?
Of course, got to represent. Yeah, I'm surprised you're not showing colour to yourself, mate.
That's it. Not many people have it. It's just limited edition.
Yeah, they sell out really quick, I think.
That's it, yeah.
Understandably so. I'm just going to try and shift this so it's going. There we go.
That's it, man. I'm gonna make mine a bit high as well. Here it's a bit low. Yeah, man.
Cheers.
Oh, look at that classy. I'm a builder style. Look at it. Look.
Good mugs, those big mugs, aren't they? You can get a lot of tea into those. I've made some further efforts as well. I thought, I'd just like print out some random quotes that have been on Lockdown Live, just to kind of have scattered around me in the background. I don't know if you can see up here. Can you make it out?
No.
No. Do you want me to read it to you?
Yeah, bring it closer to the screen there.
Okay, it's just randomly selected quotes, you understand?
Neal is a great guy, a gentleman. Ricardo, yeah. Neal is a lovely guy. Paul, oh.
I'll just leave those up there for now. I think I might leave those up there permanently.
Leave it there. And just for your it wasn't prepared, it was spontaneous. They said that spontaneously, so it wasn't like...
You didn't pay them?
No.
Oh, it's so good to see you. It's
nice to see you, Neal.
It's been so long without jiu-jitsu, isn't it?
Wow, it's been like I'm starting to wrestle people now to get to do the live, because I'm running out. Come on, guys, come on, you have to join, and then chasing people. No, I don't have time. Come on, let's do it.
There must still be loads of people to go. Mark, you should get Marcus on. Disappointed. Has Noah said no?
No, Noah said that he cannot figure out the internet thing. A couple of guys, they just I think they're a bit camera shy, but it's all right. Yeah, like yesterday we had Paul. Paul at the beginning he said, "No, I'm a bit camera shy," but he did so well yesterday. I said, "Come on, Paul." That was so good.
That was lovely to see Paul. It's so lovely to see the faces.
It's good, isn't
it? Yeah, it is. I've seen one of the BJJ boys has been coming to my house once a week to, I've got a gym in the garage.
Yeah.
So I do one of the BJJ boys each week, just briefly. We social distance, we chat for like a couple of minutes. He does what he does, and then he slips away. So I have seen somebody, but yes, yeah. I miss it, man. I miss it. I miss that. There is something magic about Nova Força that you just can't quite define, and just training jiu-jitsu, it kind of makes you a BJJ person, right? And I don't know, you can't explain it to other people, but when you're not around other BJJ people and you're not around your gym, it's I don't know, it's like a piece of you is missing.
That's it, yes. And I think it's like a good opportunity also for us to know each other. It's so many things I learned from all of you guys that I never knew before. So it's like I find it quite
Yeah.
interesting as well.
I think what happens is we meet up on the mats mostly. We'll say hello, we'll warm up, we'll drill, we'll spar, and then we might talk for a couple of minutes in the changing room, and then we're gone. But because you've done this, it's you really do get to find out a lot more about people. You hear people talk for a lot longer than you usually do, so you get a much better insight into what's behind the gi, as it were.
That's it, yes. And do you know Rashid Ford? He's joining us there. And
Richard Rainsford.
Yeah, I never knew that he was so popular. His video is the one that got more viewers on the YouTube so far. And I was like, well, and even Ramon is behind him. Ramon is in a second place. Richard is in the
Yeah. Yeah, well, I can understand why. I've got to say, his is the only one that I've not seen yet. I caught a clip of it live, but then I've been kind of dipping in and out because we've started sleep training the baby. So at the start, I was watching them all, but then we start sleep training the baby, and it kind of the time you do this kind of interferes with putting the baby to bed. So I can't catch them all live, but. I've yet to see his. I'll watch it.
Watch it, yeah. Because he's always very not shy, but he's very reserved at the gym. And then he just like when he was talking, was so amazing. And then when I saw the viewers, I was like, wow, that's what's a lot of fun. But we're gonna have Paul on the by the weekend. I'm gonna put polls as well, and I'm sure you'll come there. But I was surprised because Ramon got a lot of viewers. But then when I put Richard, I was like, wow, it came like so it's Ramon, Richard first, Ramon second, and then Jose third, and then Team Radcliffe come with Nathan Rose. So the professional fighters, they are behind of the guys are putting some work on.
Nathan Rose, how about that? Mr. Bellator.
Come on, guys.
I've got to say, I was disappointed that he didn't engage with my question about how do you get a baby to sleep. I was having a crisis at the time, and I thought Nathan might sort me out, but reflecting on it, I suspect, he trains hard, he goes home, and he's all about recovery. He's got to recover. So I imagine his other half does all the basic stuff.
That's his son.
Eats and sleeps, I suspect.
Ebron just joined us, and Ebron said that he gonna come Saturday. So fingers crossed. Last time we couldn't get him, so that's
I think
it's the most wanted as well. Everybody, the comments will be like.
He's gonna get a lot of abuse, isn't he?
It's gonna be like a lot of interaction. I would say interaction.
Brilliant.
And how is your training going, Neal? How are you doing? Are you using the gym that you have in the garage?
I'm using the gym a lot. Yeah, I'm lucky in that for many years I've had weights for 20 years or so. I've had some sort of weight product at home. And when we moved to this house, we've got a double garage here. So we set ourselves, because the missus is a little bit of a gym bunny as well, or was. We're both kind of getting longer in the tooth. But we've got a treadmill out there. We've got a power rack. I've got a load of weights and all that sort of stuff. So I've always done some weight training at home. So now that the lockdown is here, I've just been able to apply myself to it. When we're not on lockdown and I'm training jiu-jitsu once or twice a week, I don't always have the physical resources to get myself in there and train, or I'd end up breaking myself. So I've managed to throw myself at the weight training. The problem with the lockdown is that, it's not a problem. It's a nice thing, but it puts a spanner in the works elsewhere. My wife's been on maternity leave, and but before the lockdown, she was out gallivanting. She was going to baby massage, baby yoga, meeting other mums and stuff, and she was out of the house. So life more or less went on as normal for me. I'd get up, I'd walk the dogs, I'd go to jiu-jitsu, I'd do a bit of work and all this stuff. Lockdown, Carrie is homebound a lot more, so we're just together the whole time. So she comes to walk the dogs with me every day. With she has a baby strapped to her and stuff, and we take our dogs on a good long walk. But before that, I would run with them. So I was getting cardio with running the dogs, and then I was also doing some weights as well. So my cardio has just fallen off a cliff. I had a run a few days ago, and it killed me. It killed me. So I need to get back on that. But I'm doing quite well with the weight training. I've been doing some circuits as well, but they're not a substitute for running, and I don't think there's no cardio exercise that I could do that is a substitute for rolling for jiu-jitsu. I think we're going to be in bits when we get back.
That's it. Yeah, will be a handful of people that will come out strong out of this coronavirus.
A handful? You mean Rick and Ramon, don't you?
Rick, Ramon, and then we have Todd and Jess as well, that they're doing some secret training.
Yeah. And Rich is training with a wife, isn't he?
Yes, and then Rich is training with the wife, and then Mark just got some mats delivery as well, so he's training with his wife too. So it's just there's some guys that they work, and Paul Stunderman is just doing walking upside down all day long.
I know.
So he's doing
he's in rude shape. He's in rude shape, isn't he? It's not decent. He shouldn't be showing us that. I don't want to see it. Like, eat a few burgers
Lee
and then
as well.
Lee as well.
And then Lee as well.
I don't want to see it.
Tell us, how did you find Nova Força, Neal? When was the first time you went to Nova Força?
I've been training at Nova Força since March 2015. So more than 5 years now. I first went there. Well, I found it via a Google search, and I was quite surprised to find someone that was so close to where I live. And I actually went in there first time the November before, so it would have been November 2014. And I just turned up, knocked on the, I tried to open the door. The door's always locked, isn't it? So I knocked on the door, and a very, very fresh-faced Jake Archer came and answered the door. And, I wasn't immediately invited in or anything. I think kind of thought, what do you want? I said, I'm thinking about training jiu-jitsu here. He said, yeah, so, that's what we do, jiu-jitsu. And so he said, do you want to come and have a look? And so I walked in, and he just kind of showed me to the mats. And I thought, well, there's not much to see here. And of course, I've come in off the street, I'm in my shoes and stuff. So I just assumed that I could go and wander around the mats in my shoes. And I took a step onto the mat and get up. He was very polite. He was very polite. He said, no, you can't walk on the mat with your shoes on. So he showed me round, and he showed me the gym. I think he would have been like 19 or something at the time. And we had a quick chat. It was nothing too in depth, but it was, I felt good about it. It was quite welcoming, but it took me another 4 months to work up the courage to actually come in for a session. And I sent Rick an email, and I think it was it Cass was saying that he sent Rick an email and he didn't get anything back. I got a really nice email back from Rick. He said, because I said more or less the same thing. I said, I'm in my 40s. I want to try jiu-jitsu, but, is it a silly idea? Am I just going to get broken? And he said, no. He said, jiu-jitsu is for everybody. And he's right. Jiu-jitsu is for everybody. Everybody that is has the inclination to do it. It's for everybody. So I looked up the classes, and I came back, just over 5 years ago now. And I've been a glutton for punishment ever since,
So this is why people love you so much.
Places.
How was your first lesson? Do you remember how it was?
Yeah, it was interesting. It was that it was a lunchtime class. I always go to the lunchtime classes, and there were it was mostly white belts, but there were a handful of higher belts. There was. I think Simon Gill was brown belt. I think Jose was there. He was brown belt at the time. Jake was blue belt, if you can believe that. 5 years ago, Jake was a blue belt. But he wasn't. If he went into any other academy, he wouldn't be a blue belt. He wasn't a normal blue belt. And there was, Ben. I think it's Ben Sage. You might know him as Loki. Ben Loki. He was there, and Justin. I might have said Justin already. there was a lad called Rob who was like a fat, long-haired ginger lad who used to train all the time when I was there. We kind of shared our first kind of 2 or 3 years together. But I remember I turned up in like a tracksuit and I thought, oh, I'm going to get pulled about a bit because I didn't want to commit to a gi straight away. So I tracksuit bottoms and I had this like the most robust long sleeve top I could find I wore in. And like the first roll, Rob like tore a hole in it, which, you know, it was fine. It was kind of disposable anyway, but it was a surreal experience. I remember the first session, like Justin, I think he tries to really creep you out. You know, he was he was telling me a story about how I forget how we got around to it, but he said you know, he really liked being in prison. He said, I get 3 meals a day and all the sex I wanted. And I'm thinking, like, you get all the sex you want in prison? Like, what do you mean? And I thought, I don't understand this conversation. And he said to me, then he kind of saw that I was like a bit perplexed. I wasn't, anybody else would have been like, right, this guy is talking nonsense, but I'm slightly naive. And so, you know, I didn't know so much. And he said, and he could kind of see this, and he said, after what they did to my wife, you know, I had to do it. And so I thought, fucking hell, this guy is like, he's done somebody in and he spent time inside. It was like a couple of weeks later that I asked Jake about it. Jake thought it was hilarious. So that's one of the things that I remember about my first lesson. The other thing is, I'm not sure if it was Ben or if it was Justin, but I was just getting arse handed to me on the mat, as you would expect. And at one point I was mounted and somebody like had me bound up and everything. And I think they had their gi wrapped over my head. And they just kind of leant down and very gently kissed me on the cheek. And that was, I think maybe they looked at me and thought, this is not the sort of fella that we want here. Let's see if we can scare him off. Yeah, it was interesting. But I came back like 2 days later, bought a gi from Rita, and that was it. Yeah, I loved it. I went away. I was covered in bruises, you know, like gi rash and everything. I remember my skin. I basically shed the skin off my head because I had been scraped with gis, and I was a mess. But I was so happy. I loved it so much. So yeah, let's go.
Oh man, I really can see Justin doing that. He's such a character, man.
I think he's got better over the years, but he was like, I'm sure he was a bit more creepy back then. But you know, he is a good guy. He says, I will hurt you, but I won't injure you. And he's right. He will inflict pain on you, but he's not going to break your arm or you know, cause you any serious grief. Although I'm sure he kind of busted a rib once. He's a good guy, really. And you know what? The other thing is, he's one of these guys that everybody likes to rinse, don't they? Everybody likes to rinse Justin. But he's a black belt, and we need to, you know, he deserves respect. We should have respect for him these days. We should save our abuse for the likes of Ibra, for example.
You know, and he taught a class. I said that many times already, but he taught a class just before the lockdown, and it was so interesting. I was like, that was because it's completely different approach from all the other black belts. So he's very unique. So it was so like, and you would think that he would just doesn't care and let people spar straight away. The lesson was dragging on. It was like 9:30, and he's still drilling the position. Oh, that's not right. Come on, let's do it properly.
I'm so surprised. I'm so surprised.
He was so determined to teach the bastard pass.
I'd love to know. I'm gutted that I missed the bastard pass. I'd love to learn it. You'll have to show. Did you take one of your videos of it?
I have it. Yeah.
I'll check that out. Those things are brilliant, you know. That really shows a kind of commitment to learning. There's a lot of us that kind of turn up and we're just kind of getting by until we can spar. We just want to spar. And, you know, you do the drilling because you've got to do the drilling. But you're not really committed to learning what you've been taught necessarily, but there are a handful of people that are. You are one of them, and the other one is Marcus. You know, Marcus. He like Rick or Ramon or Paul or someone. They'll teach us the technique, and then you get into sparring, and he tries it every time. He keeps trying it. And you know, because it's a new technique to you, you're going to get it wrong. You're going to kind of open yourself up to attacks because you don't know it yet. You're not slick. And he knows he's going to get submitted, or by trying it, he's going to put himself into a worse position, but he does it anyway, which I think kudos to Marcus and to you for your commitment.
Thank you, man. Yeah, no, it's good. It's a pleasure, man. The lunchtime lessons, I always tell about the lunchtime lessons as well, because it's always like a good vibe, isn't it? Amma is there. Amma just join us, and he's always on the Wednesday one. It's like, I was always skeptical to go to the no-gi lesson. I said, "Oh, these MMA guys, they're gonna kill me. Like they just gonna."
but they do though.
But then it's amazing. It's like the Wednesday lunchtime. It's the top lesson, I think, of the week, because you go there.
It's a good class.
It's a good class, and as you said, because the guys they need, especially when it's getting closer to the fight, they don't want to get injured, but they want to learn the positions. So you can see everybody training and trying the positions, but nobody wants to get hurt because they're just about to fight, like when they have so it's quite an interesting approach. I like it.
They are very different to the gi classes. They're more aggressive. They're there to win, aren't they? That's what they're training to win. So they're fast as well. They're fit and they're fast and they're aggressive.
Yeah.
The people who turn up to the gi classes, kind of hobbyists like me. Well, maybe, I speak for myself. I can't speak for everybody else. But yeah, it's a tough class on Wednesday.
Yes, that's it. And Neal, who is your training partner that matches the level with your training, and it's always like since you started been like a reference for you too?
The person that's been there ever since I started was Ash, and he was a four-stripe white belt when I started. And he's always been better than me. I've always been kind of chasing his tail, and he's like flying away as well, because my training is so inconsistent. What with getting a bit older, injuries, slow you down, and now, kids and stuff. It's my training is, the brakes have been put on my training to some extent, which I'm gonna sort out, I promise. But yeah, Ash is so fit as well, and I think Ash. There's Marcus. He wasn't there right at the beginning, but I really like training with Marcus as well.
That's it, yeah.
He's a cerebral sort of learner, and if you're paired up with him and you're trying to drill, he makes sure he gets it right, and so it helps to make sure that you get it right as well. But yeah, I've got to say, Ash, he's a bastard, Ash, isn't he?
He is. Ooh, he choked me, like he had some different choke that he was practicing, like a bow and arrow, but with the crucifix, something that he was doing. He's probably can explain it better, but it's like he was practicing this, and he did it on me, and then I just start to see the stars coming like this. Are you okay, Andre?
Hey, Rob Fox is there. Yeah, the guy that I was telling you about, Rob Fox. Rob. It's Rob Gray. I don't want to expose Rob. But yeah, Rob Fox. He's the guy that was in the first couple of years. It was me, Rob, and Ash, and a couple of others. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No. And tell us, Neal, do you follow BJJ like on YouTube, or do you do any fighters that you follow?
Not so much. No, if somebody is killing me with something in particular, then I'll look up a technique that will help me to fend it off. I used to, I've got a Flow Grappling subscription, which I've probably not looked at for 6 months or so, but I used to a few years ago, and back in the day, it was Buchecha was the man. It was, I used to like watching, the IBJJF and the ADCC, and there was a lot of kind of stalling and like cautious jiu-jitsu going on, but Buchecha was going in and it was submissions. He wanted to submit you, and usually it worked out. Usually he would submit you. So yeah, I used to like Buchecha. I think my real favorite is Cesare Matuda. Do you know?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, she's lovely. Yeah. If the wife kicks me out, then I'm going to be looking at Cesare, I think.
Oh, Neal. And what about striking? Have you ever done any striking class, or you just go to the jiu-jitsu?
Never, no. If my fear is that the modeling career would be over if you know. Ooh. Now I have a pathological fear of being punched in the face. I have a pathological fear also of being kicked in the face, kneed in the face, elbowed in the face. I just don't want anybody, don't mess with this. I'm too pretty. I'm too pretty for that.
That's it.
What are you laughing at?
I always think about my teeth, that's the main thing. They're too big, so if I have a punch in the face, then I think it'll be the first thing that's gonna smash up.
Yeah. No, there are times when I fancied it, but I don't think it's going to be for me. It's all that punchy stuff. It's all a bit violent, isn't it?
That's it. I think I agree with you on this one.
Have you ever done any of that stuff? Muay Thai or boxing?
No, yeah. I always tell everybody that I did a lesson with David Hale, the boxer, the English boxer.
Okay.
And then just before he became a world champion, and he was giving a lesson, and then I did a.
Okay.
I was doing personal training at the time, and he had a company that teach the personal trainers how to teach box. So I went for this lesson with him, and he said I can teach anyone how to box in 10 minutes. And he had like a kind of a system that do it. So he asked, was about, maybe a lot of people, more than 30 people in the room. And he said, oh, is anyone here never boxed before? And I really never boxed before. So I put my hand up, and then he called me like, come on, Andre, let's do it then. And then everybody got a partner, and they were doing pad work for 10 minutes. And I was with him. He was holding the pads. And then was a world champion, like calling the shots, and Andrea was there. But I used to do taekwondo when I was little. So the punches, they were coming like from the waist like this.
Yeah.
So Andrea, no, you don't do that. Have to put the hand up and punch like that. Come from your hip. And then that's it. We were like for 10 minutes. He was killing me. And then he called everybody together again. Come on, guys. Now I'm gonna show you. Look, Andrea never did boxing before. He's going to show you what I taught him for 10 minutes. And then he called, Andre, punch. And then So he said, I can teach anyone how to box in a part of Andre. I can teach anyone. There was a world champion that said that. So since then, I never put the gloves anymore.
You've reminded me. I did, my martial arts journey started when... I was about 10 or 11 years old, and what was it? The Karate Kid. Ralph Macchio was the Karate Kid. By the original film, I saw it on TV. It just blew me away. And there was a karate club in the church hall just at the end of my road, so I went along to that. Studied karate for about a year. Moved up like 4 or 5 belts in the space of a year, which, a lot of other martial arts are a little bit like that, aren't they? You can, you turn up one day and you get a belt, you turn up the next day you get a belt. Not to disrespect any other martial arts, but the rest of them are all shit. And I used to love all that stuff. I used to love Jean-Claude Van Damme, Jackie Chan, all these guys. I'd be... if you walk past my house, you'd see me launching myself across the living room, doing a flying kick at my sofa. I used to have this little my party trick. Not that I wasn't old enough to go to parties back then, but my party trick was that I could kick the lampshade in most rooms. So I was a bit of a lanky kid, so you know, it wasn't saying much, and I could jump quite high, but yeah, I could walk into a room and I'd say to him, mate, you know, I could kick your lampshade and say, no way, show me. And so I'd break the light, but yeah, I did a bit of karate myself back in the day, long time ago.
That's it. So we have like a background of the cleaning the car.
Yeah, wax on, wax off.
Wax on, wax off. And Neal, do you know, for the traditional question as well about the pub, so you're in a pub and you have to choose 3 guys from Nova Força to help you to come out of this pub that's on fire, proper fight going on, a part of Rick, Justin, and Baker. So you have to choose 3 guys. Who would be
I thought long and hard about this. I've been thinking about this for some time, and I thought I had a really clever answer. And I had this like analogy that I'd thought up, and it was about, you know, the lion cub, but the lioness will come in and like protect the lion cub and all this sort of stuff. But then Cass stole my thunder. So Cass said like Ramon and Rita, and that was going to be mine. And I thought I was going to be, you know, I was really clever. Nobody else is going to say this, but damn it. Obviously I'm going to go with Ramon, right? For obvious reasons. He's a beast. He'll kind of, you know, he's going to do the hard work. Ibs also, you know, big Ibs, white belt.
Oh, yeah.
God knows why he's a white belt. He beats the crap out of me, but, you know, it's what it is. And he's a lovely guy as well. So he'd probably, like, buy a few drinks and stuff. And then the third one would be Marcus, right? Marcus has this, I feel like I've been bigging up Marcus a little bit too much, but Marcus has this, like, effortless charm, right? So here he's going to come in, he's going to beam a smile, flash his pearly white. The guys that are attacking us, they're going to be charmed by Marcus. He's probably going to invite them for an afternoon on his boat. They're going to buy us drinks for the rest of the evening and probably give us a lift home at the end. So yeah, Ramon, Ibs, and Marcus.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Even if you get hurt, then you can get a ride on Marcus' boat as well after.
So there you go. There you go. Yeah.
And you talking about drink before Paul send us like another message asking what you're drinking, because we know that Paul yesterday you asked about his whiskey, so he wants to know what you're drinking there.
Yeah, it's a martini, vodka martini with a twist. I've stirred it. I've not shaken it because I couldn't be bothered to get the shaker out, so it's stirred. Boy, it's strong.
007, James Bond style.
But yeah, like it's. You know what? I'm kind of running out of booze because I like to drink whiskey and I like to drink beer, and if there's wine around, I'll drink it. I'm not really a vodka man so much, but I've always got a bottle of vodka stashed away in the freezer. I keep it in the freezer like a lot of people do. Until when I've cleared the cupboards of all the booze, and I'm like, what am I going to drink now? So it's not like I'm not desperately trying to be, you know, swanky. It's all the booze I've got left. It's a bottle of vodka in the freezer and a bottle of martini, which, you know, martini is horrid to drink on its own. So, but you know, you put it with vodka and you put yourself a vodka martini. So and that's a long way of saying I'm drinking a vodka martini.
The comments are just coming there about your martini. I just cannot understand why nobody's comment about my Sport Direct cup of tea.
That's a classic. Those mugs they're a design classic.
And it's proper tea,
you can get about,
English tea.
Those ones hold about a litre of tea as well, don't they?
And they are made from they can fall from the top of the 3rd floor and they weren't gonna break, isn't it? It's like a proper ceramic, like hard one.
Yeah.
Oh, Neal, what's your final words of wisdom to the Nova Força crowd there, man? What would be your
words of wisdom? Don't eat yellow snow. I would say get on your cardio, because when we get back on the mats, it's going to be really hard work. And if you throw up on the mat, you're going to be in trouble. stretching as well. I think it's easy to think of, oh, let's do some weights, let's do some cardio, let's do some like handstands and stuff like that. Stretching, hip flexibility, keep on your stretching, make sure you're nice and supple, ready for when we go back. That would be my advice.
Yes. Oh, Neal, thank you so much, man. It was a great joy to speak with you. The time
really
like flew.
And thank you for doing this. This is it's been a really, like I say, it's been a really magical thing. And I think for a lot of people, it's, you know, even when you don't go to, even when you're not training jiu-jitsu, you still see people that are posting stuff up on Facebook. There are videos and there are photos and coming up. So you still feel like in some way you've got your finger on the pulse. But at the moment, there's none of that. So I think we're all kind of, you know, feeling a bit detached from it. But you doing this, I think, is really kind of keeping that alive, and it's a magical thing. So thank you, man. I think.
Thank you, guys.
You're making yourself a Nova Forza legend, I think.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And it's, as I said, it's a blast to be able to know a little bit more about everyone. And it's really like, and it's good that's being recorded, because if someone comes to the gym, I was thinking about it today. Someone comes to the gym and they want to know a bit about all the guys. If they go there, they can learn a lot from everybody now, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Really good, really good.
Thank you so much. Thank you, man.
All right, buddy. I'll see you soon. Take it easy.
Take care. Take care, guys. All the best to your family as well, man.